Welcome back to the channel. Rarest coins. If you're a fan of rare and valuable coins, today's video is going to be a real treat. We're diving into a penny that may look like just another everyday coin until you realize its hidden value. That's right, we're talking about the 1979 Lincoln penny. Stick with us, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why that penny in your pocket could be worth a lot more than just 1 cent. Let's dive in. Now, the 1979 Lincoln penny might not seem like much, but there's more to this coin than meets the eye. Some 1979 pennies, especially those with specific mint marks, errors, or in excellent condition, can fetch far more than face value via hundreds, and even thousands of dollars in some cases. So, what makes this penny so valuable? Let's break it down. 1. A quick overview. The 1979 Lincoln penny. First, let's take a quick trip back in time. The 1979 Lincoln penny was minted in the midst of the 1970s, a decade of major shifts in U.S. coinage. In 1979, the U.S. Mint produced billions of pennies. The 1979 Lincoln penny features the classic design we've all come to know, Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. One thing that's important to note here is that the 1979 penny was minted at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, which means there are two types of 1979 pennies, those with no mint mark, from Philadelphia, and those with a D-mint mark, from Denver. While these coins are fairly common, the condition of the coin, any potential errors, and the mint mark can all play a role in determining its value. $1 million rarest coins. 2. What makes the 1979 Lincoln penny valuable? Now, let's get into the specifics of what can make a 1979 Lincoln penny worth more than just a penny. There are three major factors to consider: the condition of the coin, the presence of any errors, and the mint mark. Let's go over each one. A. Coin condition. Grading your penny. First and foremost, the condition of your coin is key. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70. With 70 being a perfect coin. The better the condition, the higher the potential value. For a 1979 penny, if it's in near perfect or uncirculated condition, it's going to be worth far more than one that's been worn down by years of circulation. Rarest coins. A well-worn, heavily circulated 1979 penny might be worth just a few cents up, if that. But a 1979 penny that's in high-grade condition, say MS65 or higher, could easily be worth $10 to $20, and sometimes even more if the condition is especially pristine. B. The importance of the mint mark. Next up, the mint mark. Mint marks are the tiny letters on coins that tell you where they were minted. For the 1979 penny, you'll see two possible mint marks, the AD mint mark from Denver and no mint mark at all, indicating it was minted in Philadelphia. Now, most of the 1979 pennies are pretty standard, with billions of them produced. However, some collectors are specifically on the lookout for certain types of mint marks. For instance, a well-preserved 1979 D penny might be more desirable due to the higher production at the Denver Mint. Rarest coins. 3. The real value, errors and varieties. But here's where things get really interesting. Some 1979 pennies have significant errors that can skyrocket their value. So, if you come across a 1979 penny with an unusual feature, make sure you take a closer look because it could be worth a lot more than you think. A. The 1979 wide AM error. One of the most famous varieties from the 1979 series is the wide AM error. You might be thinking, what's so special about that? Well, on some 1979 pennies, the and M in America on the reverse are spaced farther apart than usual, creating what's called the wide AM variety. Finding a 1979 penny with this error can make your coin worth anywhere from $20 to $100 or more, depending on the condition and how clearly the error is visible, and if it's in mint condition. Welcome back to the channel. Rarest coins. Today, we're diving deep into a coin that you might just have sitting in your pocket, unnoticed. We're talking about the 1968 Lincoln penny. Sure, it might look like a standard penny, but trust me, this little coin can be worth a lot of money, especially if you know what to look for. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why the 1968 Lincoln penny could be hiding a small fortune. From valuable errors to rare minting features, this seemingly common coin could actually be worth hundreds of dollars, maybe even more. Let's break it all down. 1. A quick history of the 1968 Lincoln penny. First, let's set the stage with a little history. The 1968 Lincoln penny was minted during an interesting time in American history. It was just 1 year after the U.S. switched from the 90% copper penny to a more economical 95% copper and 5% zinc blend. So, while the 1968 penny was made with that familiar coppery shine, it marked the beginning of a new era in penny production. The 1968 penny features the traditional design we know today, Abraham Lincoln's profile on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. But what you may not know is that there are a few unique features about this year's production that make it worth far more than its face value. 3 million rarest coins. 2. The basics. What makes the 1968 Lincoln penny valuable? On the surface, the 1968 penny may seem like just another coin from the late 1960s. After all, more than 3 billion of them are minted across the Philadelphia and Denver mints. So, it's not exactly rare in terms of mintage numbers. But when you start looking at certain details, mint marks, errors, and condition, the value can increase significantly. 3. Key factors to determine the value of a 1968 penny. Now, let's dive into the key factors that can make a 1968 Lincoln penny worth a lot of money. The main factors to consider are mint marks, condition, and errors. Let's break these down one by one. A. Mint marks. Why the D matters. First up, the mint mark. A lot of people don't realize that the D mint mark on a penny can play a huge role in its value. The 1968 penny was minted at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints. The ones without a mint mark were struck at Philadelphia, while the ones with the D mint mark came from Denver. While the 1968 D penny isn't necessarily rare, it's generally in higher demand for collectors. Depending on its condition and any potential errors, a 1968 D penny could be worth more than its Philadelphia counterpart. But hang tight, we're just getting started. B. The importance of coin condition. Grading matters. Next, let's talk about coin condition. As with any collectible, the condition of the coin plays a huge role in its value. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70. With 70 being a perfect, flawless coin. If you've got a 1968 penny in high grade, let's say an MS65 or higher up, it could be worth significantly more than a penny in poor condition. A 1968 penny in good circulated condition might only be worth around 5 to 10 cents, but if it's graded at MS65 or above, it could be worth $10 to $20. And if it's in perfect condition, MS67 or higher, you're looking at a coin worth upwards of $50 or more. Rarest coins. 4. The real treasure, errors and varieties. With the more excited tone. Now, here's where things get really interesting. Errors. There are some 1968 pennies with significant minting errors that can make them worth far more than just a few cents. If you find one of those error coins, you could be sitting on a small fortune. Let's look at some of the most notable errors you should be on the lookout for. A. The 1968 double die error. One of the most famous errors in 1968 pennies is the double die error. This occurs when the coin is struck multiple times by the dies, resulting in a noticeable doubling effect on the date or other details of the coin. On the 1968 penny, you might notice doubling on the word A Liberty or the date itself. Finding a 1968 penny. Welcome back to the channel. If you're into rare and valuable coins, you're in for a treat today. We're diving into a special penny, one that, despite being from the 1970s, could be worth way more than you think. Yes, we're talking about the 1973 D Lincoln penny. So, grab your magnifying glasses, because this video is packed with crucial details, tips, and insider knowledge that could help you find and value this elusive gem. Rarest coins. Before we get into the specifics, let's set the stage. We all know Lincoln pennies, right? They're one of the most common coins in circulation today, but there are some years, mint marks, and errors that can make a penny worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. The 1973 penny might seem like a typical coin at first glance, but trust me, there's much more to it. So, what makes the 1973 Lincoln penny special? Well, to understand its potential value, we need to take a look at a few important factors: rarity, errors, and condition. Let's break this down step by step. 1. The basics. What is a 1973 Lincoln penny? In 1973, the U.S. Mint produced billions of pennies, specifically 1.6 billion to be exact. That's a lot of coins. Most of these were made as the Denver Mint, which is where the D Mint mark comes from. The coin features the iconic image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. Now, this is where things get interesting. 2. What makes this penny valuable? Slightly suspenseful tone. While the 1973 penny is fairly common in terms of mintage, there are certain factors that could make a specific coin worth much more than its face value of just 1 cent. A. Coin condition. Grading your penny. One of the most important aspects of a coin's value is its condition. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect coin. If you have a 1973 penny in high-grade condition, say an MS-65 or higher, its value will be significantly more than a penny in average circulated condition. Rarest coins: a well-preserved 1973 penny in mint state, MS-65 or higher, could fetch anywhere from $10 to $20 or more, sometimes even more if it's part of a higher tier grade like MS-67. But don't get too excited just yet, we're just scratching the surface here. 3. Errors and varieties, the real hidden treasures. Now, here's where things really get interesting. While most 1973 pennies are worth just a few cents, there are some key errors and varieties that can make them worth a small fortune. One of the most sought-after error coins from this year is the 1973 double die penny. In this case, the die used to strike the penny was misaligned, resulting in doubling of certain details on the coin, most noticeably the date and the Liberty inscription on the obverse. Finding a double die penny, especially with clear and visible doubling, can skyrocket the value of coin. These pennies can sell for anywhere from $200 to $500, and in some rare cases, even higher, depending on the level of doubling and the condition of the coin. B. Overmint mark error. Another error to watch out for is the overmint mark error. This occurs when a coin is struck with the wrong mint mark or when one mint mark is imprinted over another. For example, a 1973 penny could have an overmint mark from a different year or a different mint entirely. Rarest coins. Overmint mark pennies are rare, and if you find one, especially from the 1973 year, you could see your coin's value increase significantly, sometimes into the hundreds of dollars range depending on rarity and condition. 4. Where to find valuable 1973 pennies. Okay, so now you're probably wondering, how do I find a 1973 penny that could be worth big money? Well, they're out there. You just have to know where to look. First off, search through your spare change. You'd be surprised how many rare and Welcome back to the channel. Rarest coins. If you're into rare coins and treasure hunting, today's video is for you. We're going to explore one of the most famous and valuable pennies of all time, via the 1969 Lincoln penny. It might seem like just another penny, but believe me, there's a lot more to this coin than you might think. So, if you have one of these in your collection or even in your spare change, it could be worth far more than its face value. Stick around to find out why this penny could be a hidden gem, potentially worth thousands of dollars. Let's get started by diving into the history of the 1969 Lincoln penny, and why it's such a sought-after coin among collectors. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or just starting out, understanding the key details behind this coin will help you spot its true value. So, let's break it down. 1. A quick overview. The 1969 Lincoln penny. First things first, Let's take a quick look at the 1969 penny itself. The Lincoln penny has been a staple of American coinage since 1909, and by 1969, it was still featuring the classic design Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. But the 1969 penny holds a special place in the hearts of collectors for one big reason. There was a significant error made in the production of some of those pennies, specifically at the Denver Mint. Rarest coins now, most 1969 pennies are fairly common. Over 4 billion of these pennies were struck, so you might think, what's so special about that? Well, the value of a 1969 penny goes beyond just the number of coins minted. It's all about a rare error that makes this penny incredibly valuable to collectors. But more on that in just a moment. 2. The 1969 double die error, the holy grail of Lincoln pennies. Here it is of the 1969 double die penny. This is the error that makes this penny worth a lot of money. But what exactly is a double die error? Well, it happens when the die used to strike the coin is misaligned or made with a flaw, resulting in the design being stamped more than once. This causes certain parts of the design to appear doubled. And when it happens on the 1969 penny, it can dramatically increase its value. The most noticeable feature of the 1969 double die penny is the doubling on the obverse, specifically on the date, Liberty, and In God We Trust. You'll see a clear shadow effect or offsetting of the letters and numbers. The doubling can be subtle or very pronounced, but even a minor double die error can be worth a lot more than a regular 1969 penny. 3. Why the 1969 double die is so valuable. So why is this particular error so valuable? Well, it's all about rarity and demand. Only a small percentage of the 1969 pennies were struck with this double die error. While we don't have an exact number of how many were made, estimates suggest that only a few thousand of these double die pennies exist. And as you can imagine, the fewer coins that were produced with this error, the more valuable they become. Collectors are always on the lookout for these rare errors, which means that finding one can make your penny worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. A 1969 double die penny in high-grade condition can be worth anywhere from $200 to $1,000 or more. In some rare cases, especially if the coin is in perfect condition or has been graded as MS65 or higher, the value could even surpass $2,000. Rarest coins. 4. What to look for when identifying a 1969 double die penny. Alright, so now that you know why the 1969 penny can be worth so much, how do you identify if you have a double die penny on your hands? The first thing to check is the date. If you see doubling on the numbers in the year 1969, that's a good indicator that you might have a double die coin. Next, look closely at the word Liberty and In God We Trust on the obverse. You'll notice that the letters might appear to have a second, lighter impression next to them, the D. Welcome back to the channel. Rarest coins today. Did you know that some 2009 Lincoln pennies are worth far more than their face value? If you're a coin collector or just someone looking through spare change, you might want to pay attention to this. In today's video, we're diving into the details of the 2009 Lincoln penny and uncovering why some of these coins can fetch a lot of money. Let's get started. Cut to a shot of various Lincoln pennies from different years, focusing on the 2009 penny. Rarest coins. The 2009 Lincoln penny was released as part of a special series to commemorate the 200th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was designed to feature 4 different reverse designs, each representing a different stage in Lincoln's life. So, if you have a 2009 penny in your collection, chances are it might be part of one of these special designs. On screen, show examples of the 4 reverse designs from the 2009 penny series. Let's quickly review the 4 designs you will encounter. The A log cabin design, symbolizing Lincoln's birth in a log cabin in Kentucky. The A formative years design, depicting him reading a book by a cabin. The A professional life design, showing him in front of the Illinois state capitol. And finally, the A presidency design, which shows Lincoln delivering the Gettysburg Address. Cut to a shot of the narrator holding a 2009 penny with a close-up of its features. Now, the question on everyone's mind: why is the 2009 Lincoln penny worth so much more than the usual 1-cent coin? Well, it all comes down to rarity, condition, and certain key factors that collectors are on the lookout for. Cut to shots of different condition coins, showing a worn-out penny and then a mint-condition 2009 penny. First, let's talk about condition. Coins in better condition, especially those with minimal wear and tear, are more valuable. In fact, a 2009 penny that is in uncirculated or mint state can be worth 10, 20, or even 50 times its face value! $1 million rarest coins. Cut to a zoom in of a high-quality 2009 penny with no visible wear, then transition to a worn-out penny. Coins with high-grade ratings, such as MS65 or higher, are the ones that can command big prices. And let's not forget about rare errors and variations that can dramatically increase the value of coin. Cut to an image of the coin catalog showing different error types. When it comes to the 2009 Lincoln penny, some of the most valuable coins are those with specific minting errors or rare variations. Here are a few to watch for. 1. Double die reverse. Cut to a close-up of a 2009 penny with a double die reverse error, highlighting the double lettering. A double die error occurs when the design is struck more than once, causing a doubling effect on the letters or numbers. If you find a 2009 penny with a double die reverse, it could be worth hundreds of dollars, depending on its condition. 2. Off-center strikes. Show an off-center penny, where the design is clearly not aligned properly. Another rare and valuable error is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin is not properly aligned during the minting process, leaving part of the design missing or cut off. These coins can be worth anywhere from $50 to $500, depending on how off-center they are. 3. Repunched mint marks. Show a repunched mint mark on a 2009 penny. Voiceover. A repunched mint mark happens when the mint mark is stamped more than once, causing a misalignment. Collectors pay a premium for these coins, and they can be worth several times more than a normal 2009 penny. Rarest coins. Cut to the narrator in front of a desk with tools for coin identification, magnifying glass, light, and a coin guide. Narrator, on camera. So, how do you go about identifying these rare and valuable 2009 pennies? Let me walk you through a few easy steps. Show a close-up of the tools being used to examine a penny. 1. Use magnification. A magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe is an essential tool for inspecting your coins. With it, you can easily spot errors like double dies, repunched mint marks, and other variations that are difficult to see with the naked eye. 2. Look for wear and tear. Examine your penny carefully to check for any excessive wear. A coin with crisp, sharp details will have a higher value than one that's heavily worn down. The grade of the coin really matters. Welcome back to the channel. Rarest coins. Today, we've got something really exciting for you. We're talking about a coin that's been around for decades, yet still holds a secret. Its value might surprise you. That's right. We're diving into the 1964 Lincoln penny. It may look like just another everyday penny, but trust me, some of these coins are worth way more than 1 cent. Whether you're a collector or just curious, stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what makes the 1964 Lincoln penny so valuable. Let's start by talking about the 1964 penny in general. For many collectors, the 1964 Lincoln penny is one of those coins that's deceptively common. It was minted in large numbers, billions, in fact. But there are certain features, certain factors, that make the 1964 penny a lot more valuable than you might think. So, why is this penny worth more than face value, and how do you know if you've got a rare one? Let's break it down. 1. The history of the 1964 Lincoln penny. First, let's set the scene. The 1964 Lincoln penny, like all pennies before it, features Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the iconic Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. This design had been in circulation since 1959, and in 1964, the penny was still primarily composed of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. That's right before 1982. Pennies were made out of copper, and that's one reason why certain older pennies, including the 1964, are often sought after. Rarest coins. The 1964 penny also marks an important year in American history because it was the last year before the U.S. Mint began phasing out the copper composition in favor of the cheaper, less valuable zinc and copper blend. So, in a way, the 1964 penny represents the end of an era in U.S. coinage. 2. What makes the 1964 Lincoln penny valuable? So, let's get to the fun part of the value of the 1964 Lincoln penny. Now, the basic 1964 penny is, well, worth just 1 cent. But here's the thing. There are certain characteristics that make some 1964 pennies far more valuable. These can include factors like the coin's condition, mint mark, and most importantly if the coin has any rare earths. 3. The importance of condition. First, let's talk about condition. The condition of a coin plays a huge role in its value. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect, flawless coin. Most 1964 pennies are not in perfect condition due to years of circulation, but if you happen to find one that is in uncirculated or near mint condition, it could be worth a lot more than just a cent. Rarest coins. Even a penny in extremely fine or about uncirculated condition can fetch a premium. A typical 1964 Lincoln penny in average circulated condition might only be worth around 2 to 5 cents. But if the coin is uncirculated or in mint condition, it could be worth anywhere from $10 to $20, depending on its grade. And if you're lucky enough to find a gem quality example with no noticeable flaws, it could be worth even more. 4. Mint mark and rarity. Philadelphia versus Denver. Next up, let's talk about the mint mark. If you've been collecting coins for any length of time, you know that the mint mark on a coin can be a big deal. In 1964, pennies were minted at 2 locations, the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint. Rarest coins. Now, most of the 1964 pennies you will encounter will have no mint mark at all, indicating they were minted in Philadelphia. However, the 1964D penny minted in Denver was also produced in large quantities. So, while the 1964D penny is still fairly common, the value for one in uncirculated or high-grade condition can still be higher than that of the Philadelphia variety. For example, the 1964D penny had a mintage of over 4 billion coins, while the Philadelphia Mint produced over 1 billion. That said, while both are common, the 1964D in high-grade condition c.